Mali, you can go online and see, no? Facebook.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. Has it started?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. A very good evening, everybody. Today we are here to introduce you to a concept called leader as coach. Let's see who knows it, and let's hear from Malini. She would just begin the session, and then I would take over.
Thank you so much, Deep. I would take the honor of introducing Deep Ahuja Sharma to all of you. She is managing partner TPC Leadership and is a huge inspiration not just for me but to every coach who has done and completed their coach training with TPC Leadership. And she is a PCC coach herself with more than 3,000 hours of coaching in her kitty, and she has supported almost all the individuals in the hierarchy, for example, from VPs to managers and so on and so forth. So I hereby welcome Deep to please take over and
Thank you. Thank you, Malini. And I'll quickly just request Richa and Himani to share a brief introduction about themselves. And Malini, why don't you also begin with your introduction as well? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Let me invite Richa first of all. Hey, Richa.
Hi, Malini. Hi, Deep. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So I am Richa Sahai, and I have done all my coaching certification process with TPC Leadership. Went through all the 5 modules, and in this journey, I have seen a huge evolution in myself, and that is wonderful. My listening has improved like anything. And when I reflect, I see initially when I went into this journey of coaching Deep, I was not very sure how do I take it ahead. So I actually went into it with an idea of let me taste it, what it is, how is it, what does it do. I really had not thought that it would be so useful to me, not only in my personal life, but not only in my professional life, but also in my personal life. I see that my conversation with my daughter has changed. I see that I'm able to take her views more into, because now I'm not giving her commandments typically, which I otherwise would have done possibly. There is a change of language. My impact with my community to onto my community, that has changed. It has allowed me to be more inclusive in terms of taking everybody's into consideration, be more collaborative. And one thing that you have beautifully done in me is believe in everybody's potential. And with that, I think coaching is something that everyone needs. And I can now today vouch for it. 2 years back, I wouldn't have said this, but today I can surely say coaching is for everybody, even for a coach. So you might be something on a desk job, you might be in team management, you might be in a leadership role or a non-leadership role, even mothers, even parents. I see the role of coaching really very, very huge. The kind of skills that it gives is so beautiful. And I really thank you, because the way you have taken us through the journey, oh my God, it's the words are very, very limited. Words are really very, very limited. The facilitation wherein we we could see, I mean, I heard this from every fellow participant, that we were there. It was not a trainer dominated session, it was not facilitator dominated session. It was ensure that we are learning throughout, so much of practice, so much of practice. And the other initiatives that TPC Leadership has brought in, like peer coaching, which allows us to practice. And even experience coaching every now and then. It's so lovely. And I really thank you so much for this journey as a trainer, as a coach. I find this so very important and as a much added advantage to what I do professionally also. And I've been able to contribute much more because of this. Thank you so much for this program. And I think this is really the need of the hour.
Thanks a lot, Richa. And I would like to invite Himani now and share her journey with us.
Sure, Malini. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Himani Jaiswal, and I've been associated with the TPCL for about 4.5, 5 years now. And I think, yeah, like Richa, I would also say that it has been an empowering and an enriching journey. And if any of you have got the chance to read the TPCL, the tagline or what it shares on the website, it talks about closing the knowing and the doing gap, and the knowing doing being gap. So I've been into this field for about 23 years now, been a training professional and a facilitator as well as a coach before I joined TPCL. But I can really safely and authentically say that I closed the gap between my knowing and my doing and my being when I came here, because there were a lot of concepts and a lot of things that were still unanswered for me, and I was searching those as along my journey of developing myself as a person, as a coach, as a facilitator, as a trainer. So I would kind of enlarge and broaden the area of coaching into saying that, as Richa shared, I think very beautifully, that it not only develops you the program out here, because it deep dives into concepts like positive psychology, neuro linguistic programming, into appreciative inquiry, into a whole lot of other concepts which we kind of really want to dabble into, but may not want to get full-fledged kind of do courses in. But the extent that we go in here is, I think, enough for people, curious cats like me, definitely. And of course, people who would like to go deeper can of course go deeper with more modules. But it also enriches your capability and capacity as a human being. And I am a mother to a 16-year-old, and I can safely say that yes, in a lot of ways it has led me to inquire. The program has led me to inquire, what is it that I would like to go ahead and do in life? What is my calling? What is my purpose? And I would expand the concept of leadership here by saying that each one of us are leaders in our own right. So while some of us may be working in organizations, some of us work in other non-profit organizations, and some of us work at home. We are mothers and we are leaders here. So that I think the kind of journeys we have are very significant as well, and which has led me to my own quest now of developing this program for teen coaching. So I think the ambit of coaching doesn't stop anywhere. It's wide and it's deep and it's high, and it's just all encompassing. And I'm really grateful that I came here to be able to soak in all what I have learned so far, and there are miles to go. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you once again.
How true, Himani. I truly resonate every word that you spoke. It's so truly encompassing, and I see it's working everywhere. And I think the way possible it has come to us also through TPC leadership. The entire process has been so empowering. The entire process has been so empowering, and I can vouch for it because I've gone through this and I see the impact. So yeah, truly resonate with what you said.
Actually, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, both of you. It is empowering for me to listen back to you as leaders, as teachers, as coaches. And
Deep, not able to hear you.
Just allow me a minute.
Yeah.
Now it's okay. Audible to you now?
No, yes, it's fine. Now it's
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with everybody, both of you. And I also invite Malini now to share her share of story as well with everybody.
Yeah, coming from an absolutely different background, I became a coach. I started off, in fact, I was started off with my coaching journey a year back only. And I'm very much in gratitude to Deep to be my mentor there. And it actually transformed not just me as a person, but my entire view to look at somebody who has come for a coaching session. Rather than being judgmental about people or looking at the flaws of someone, I now look at someone as an individual full of potential and strength. And I'm only a channel to support them in their journey. The question is there, the issue is there, and so does the answer is, which lies somewhere inside them only.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Dee, for enabling me with the process, with the tools and the knowledge.
It was you, all of you actually, you were destined to get this knowledge because you all are capable of bringing about a difference in others' lives. And so that you're doing actually right from your home. You're making a difference to your kids, to the people you meet, to the coaches you have. And it's my pleasure to even know all of you in this journey. And I have become a better person myself during the journey of being a mentor coach. As they say, you know, you learn the most when you teach others. So I have learned the most out of this. So I'm at the most advantage, I must say, because of which. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to take you through. There is Pooja also, who is another co-founder of TPC Leadership and an executive coach, been awarded as 100 Best Global Coaches, as well as I was awarded as a Women Achiever in Entrepreneurship last year. And these are all achievers in their own fields who have joined me in the call today. Malini herself has been felicitated with various awards in women leadership and women entrepreneurship. So thank you for to Malini for hosting this and inviting everybody else. Himani now is no more an alumni. She's taking care and leading the peer coaching practice for TPC Leadership. Richa is also closely associated with us. So now we just move on to asking you this beautiful question. What do you miss most during this lockdown? Before we get into the nitty-gritties and nuances of leader as coach, let's hear from all of you who are there at this call. You could go ahead, put in the chat box or annotate. Okay. What do you miss most during this lockdown? I see certain annotates on connection, yeah, meeting friends, travel, beaches. Yeah, yeah, indeed. It is the same for me, and it is same for every employee working. They're missing real human connection. They're missing exploration. They're missing being, you know, being a flyer, being an explorer. So how during this social distancing new era, during this new normal, how can coaching support in bringing people closer psychologically, if not physically? Is there, do we really need to be, you know, physical distance is important, but is there a psychological distance also important? That's my question.
I would like to answer this for everyone, Deep. I mean, I would like to express my views on that. Once we have distance physically, there is some distance which comes mentally as well in the psychology. So coaching helps here to narrow down that distance, to look at our strengths, what we can do rather than looking at our interferences, what we cannot do. Because we all have heard, whatever we water to grows, whichever plant we water, it grows. So if we are concentrating more towards our strengths, those are the ones which will grow for us. So let's concentrate on our strengths, on our values, and how can we contribute to our loved ones, to the society in these troubled times. And coaching plays a very pivotal role in recognizing them, in being aware of them, and being acknowledged of your own self before you go ahead and you acknowledge others.
Very right. Very right. Malini, I think I would just like to add to that, that I think the point that you made about, when people are left on their own, and that at this time we are left on our own. Of course, we have our families, that's a blessing. But when we are left on our own, the brain really gets into that kind of fear mode, and especially when there's uncertainty, and it is then that if we have somebody who is talking to us, not only as somebody who's a great listener, but also is able to reflectively and very intuitively direct our brains towards a forward looking motion, towards thinking of possibilities, towards thinking of what can be, and what is the future hold for us. It can be a very, very powerful exercise. When you were speaking, it just reminded me of that kind of role. And that's probably something that we all do in our daily lives as well. When we talk to friends, when we talk to each other, we do this. But the awareness that comes when you are into this coaching journey is that it's done in a more professional and in a more concise and a more there's a methodology to it, and which you follow and then take the coachee through that journey. But yes, very, very empowering. Thanks.
Absolutely agree to what you, Malini, said, and what Himani, you just said. Totally resonate with experiences that you are talking about, because I have also gone through the same. What typically happens during these phases? We are apart. Distance has come into picture. We cannot meet each other. We are not able to hug each other, and which is so important. We are not able to acknowledge each other the way otherwise, the body language and all those things completely missing. Also, when you are with people, the kind of energy that you share, you do not get that. I mean, how much of it do you get that through the social, the virtual world? And being with people is always and altogether a different experience. And when we say that man is a social animal, when this entire social stuff is kind of missing, what can coaching do during such difficult times? Well, where do I focus is an important question. Where do I focus? Should I focus on what is not, and not at all look at what is? And what has this lockdown enabled? So when I look at this entire process of coaching, even during these times, I see that it brings my confidence back. It allows me to explore a lot of things which otherwise my attention does not even go to. It makes me more aware. It hence makes me more emotionally stable. It helps me being centered and anchored. So this is not just a process. I would say in certain way, this is a part of life. What does a coach do? He, although he's an external, but actually allows us to voice the internal voice that's within us, kind of buried, kind of something that we don't really pay much of attention to. We are so unaware about that voice a lot of times. So this process beautifully helps us to bring that voice up, be face to face to it, hear it, what it says, and know what's going all inside and how do we want to do things ahead and channelize things then after. So I see this process really helping, even not only the times that you may call as good times, but also the difficult times when you are not able to connect with people, etc. So I really find coaching as a very, very powerful process.
Absolutely, all of you are bang on. And thank you for increasing my awareness around how can these crises be dealt with through coaching, and how could people still feel connected, deeply listened to, deeply heard, and how can this pandemic be a catalyst in the finding your purpose and vision. So why this program in current times? Why this program in current times is important? Leader as coach. Why should organizations train their leaders to become coaches? What emerges for you as certain answers to this?
Well, what I have experienced when I have looked at people, had conversations with them, the leaders especially, they are undergoing huge crisis times in terms of how are they connected with their people, how are they connected with their team. The crisis has already brought in so much of difficulties in terms of organizations seeing reduced business, which is another stress to them, a huge stress to them, really figuring out how do we take it ahead, what lies ahead, because currently the future really looks very, very uncertain, very, very uncertain. So during these times, I see, in fact, the leaders going ahead and connecting with their people, the need being even higher. The need of their going ahead and connecting with people being even higher. How do you connect in a way wherein you enable them, wherein you support them, wherein you not just talk about what is the situation bringing to us, what has the situation done to us, what is that we are facing, because everybody is facing and we are all talking about it. How do you talk or converse in a way which is not just focusing on what is, but also focusing on what is but is not visible? And that's where I see leaders must be coaches. And I do not see a negotiation in that. This is kind of non-negotiable for me. A leader must know how to coach, must be the coach, because coaching is not just about a skill. It's also about your attitude. Which space are you coming from? Are you coming from the understanding that everybody has potential and they can contribute in certain way? We can find alternatives. There is a solution to every problem or every challenge that I face. Which space are you coming from? Are you coming from the space of compassion? Are you coming from the space of togetherness? Are you coming from the space of collaboration? Where are you coming from? So when a leader really move into this journey of coaching, it is not just about adding skills. It is about also enhancing the way we would live life. And that is where a leader connects with his people in a way which is really creating bonds of lifetime. And that's why I see leader as a coach as a very, very important
non-negotiable competency is what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah, it is. It
is not just the doing, but the being is what I am taking away from what you said of leader.
Yeah, I think it would be a good time to really take up the fact that really who can be a coach, then who is a coach, we talked so much about the fact that it's non-negotiable and it's something that probably as a leader, but if to expand that further, I think each and every person can be a coach and probably need a coach also at some point of time of life, which brings me to a question that then who can actually be a coach? Is there something that goes with it? Kind of like we say that we are school passed out of school, passed out of college, so now have we passed out of coaching? It's a kind of it's a thought-provoking thing that comes in.
Yes.
Sure. So who can be a coach is a great question to ponder upon. We shall certainly get there. As you really just mentioned also, Himani, the answer was in your question. Everybody can be a coach who has a deep desire to make a difference to themselves and others, who really know the art of connecting with others and being in here and now. And then rest of the competencies, traits, skills, tools can be certainly picked up, but these are certain non-negotiables, like listening as a skill, connecting as a skill at a deeper level with the other person. If you're able to do that, then you can be a coach. And slowly, gradually, through a year-long intervention that TPC leadership does globally, one gets to do a lot of work on themselves. They get aware about themselves. They get aware about others' emotions, others' behaviors, others' belief systems, and their own belief systems. They work through, they have a breakthrough for themselves, as you all have got. And then they work on others. So yes, there is a stipulated course around ICF competencies along with the research and academia background that TPC leadership has for the last 20 years. In more than 30 countries, this program has been running and creating quality coaches. So my wish and desire is that everybody is able to do that deep conversation with the other human being they're living with to get started with. So for which, yeah, that's my answer. And you can keep thinking about it, put in the chat box. Malini, is there anything coming on Facebook? People are asking anything. Yeah.
Yes, okay. I'm glad that Sunanda and Jaya both have joined us on Facebook. Great. And Sunanda says that my coaching journey with TPCL has been memorable. I've grown immensely, not only as a coach, but also as a person.
Oh, so sweet of her. Thank you, Sunanda. Thank you so much for...
So, I really thank both of them.
Yeah. So in 2016, when we started...
And hereby, I present my question to you, Deep.
Sure. Mali, I kind of lost you somewhere.
Yeah. My question is, okay, now am I audible now?
All yes, right. You are.
So my question to you is, how would coaching enable a leader to move up on the success ladder?
Okay. So if I heard you correctly, you're saying, how does coaching help leaders be uplifted?
So what I heard is move up the ladder in the organization. Am I correct, Malini? Is that what you're saying?
Move up the ladder in the hierarchy.
In the hierarchy.
Sure. So not just these current times that we are sailing in. However, for leaders, the basic competency skill is not just IQ, but also EQ. The EQ should be higher than the IQ in a leadership role. So the higher the IQ, higher the EQ is over your IQ, would you be ready for taking more responsibility under you? You'll be able to not only be self-aware, manage yourself better, but manage others, manage the organization systemically well. And some parts of our course does cover leading self, leading others, leading teams, and leading organizations systemically. So those are the 4 pillars our program also works through and supports leaders to become coaches via. And why this program in current times? I had it on my slide. So some of you just answered. During this new normal era, there would be a skill set which is precious and valuable across all sectors, applicable across all levels, and which is functional agnostic, which is going to be a rare commodity that one would have. So I believe this particular ability to coach and develop others is what is needed right now in the new normal era. And as we are on 1st of July, this is mid-year, right? And most of us, how we started on the 1st of January this year, we won't have ended up mid of the year with the same vision, same goals, same plans. So coaching gives you that flexibility to work on the agenda in here and now and keep taking stock of new possibilities that are emerging. As Richa just said in the beginning, that, being able to showcase what's not visible being able to go beyond the visible vision, goals, plans, and visible barriers. How could one go beyond and re-establish the purpose, vision, goals, and plans? And if a leader is a coach, he or she is able to navigate not only themselves, but also their teams and others through vision, goals, and plans. So these are the times that a leader must acquire this knowledge of coaching and adapt to the new normal more quickly, swiftly, effectively. Now, the second one, of course, changing landscapes, and change starts with disruption. And we have gone through disruption of our decade, maybe a century, right? Because of COVID. So having this disruption in place, and then now disorder and chaos is emerging. We are somewhere in the middle of the two, and we're trying to get to the new normal. We're trying to get some emerging order from the chaos. So how can leaders enable themselves and their teams adapt to change amicably, systemically, and drive them in these changing landscapes from the front and from the back? By being a guide by their side, maybe not a sage on the stage, as they say, by being a guide by their side, how could they enable this changing landscape, this VUCA world, as we hear people say, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous times that we're living in? How can they enable, to lead efficiently, enable themselves and their teams, take ownership and go along, collaborate during these times? Also, coaching is one capability. If learned, you are, as Richa said, as Himani said, as Malini shared, it is going to tap into your diverse and inclusive forces within the organizations. It is gender agnostic. It is age agnostic. It is for the millennials, and it is for the baby boomers. It is considering everybody's idea. It is listening to everyone's suggestion and collaborating and driving the common goal of an organization forward. So enabling high performance, as Malini said, it's coaching helps in enabling performance by eradicating the interferences and accentuating the potential. This is what Timothy Galway, the Inner Game of Tennis author and a sports psychologist, had offered us. Performance is equal to potential minus interference of their own voices, the wars in the mind, a lot of interferences of an external environment, like we have enough and more these days because of COVID. So many political, economical, social, technological, and legal, a lot of implications are coming. So how do we let go of this and tap into the potential which exists? And then we're talking about not only, as I said, not only the baby boomers, but also baby boomers are the richest and wisest of generation in an organization, right? The oldest, and the millennials and the Gen Z are emerging leaders and team members. So it can develop both. That's the beauty. I have clients to myself who are 72-year-old, and I have clients to myself who are 27-year-old. So this is what coaching can do. It is age agnostic. It is gender agnostic. And it just enables everybody, because the process is more profound than the coach himself or herself, is what I can say. Now, lead your coaches and teams through strengths during stress. So certain part of our program talk about the values and strengths that exist, and as Malini said, whatever you focus on grows, right? That's what my mentor who has trained me, my mentor coach, Mr. Chris Sheepshanks, he used to always say, whatever voice you focus on grows. So we enable leaders to look at the strengths of their people and their own strengths, to be able to look into the mirror and say, you are enough. And you can be better, but you are enough. And not have a critical voice bother them. So an encouragement rather than criticism, it just, just comes into the picture. Okay.
Thank you so much, Steve. And we have one question from the viewers, that is Randall. And he asks you, how can one learn to ask the best questions at the right time when coaching?
Beautiful question, Malini. So we always say the art of being present. Being present with your coachee allows you to listen to not only the content, but the intent. Not only the words, but also the visuals. Also beyond, there is a certain connection if you're deeply connected in here and now with your coachee. We have all experienced it as coaches, right? Intuitively, there are so many questions that emerge. And the best question is the one that is utilizing the client's language. So pick it up from the neuro pathway it has been generated and bring it back to further their journey on that neuro pathway is what I say. Asking a powerful question could be not offering the question from your map, but offering a question from their map is a powerful question in my view. If Randall is watching, we can ask him for his feedback on what he could understand from here. And within TPC Leadership, Leaders Coach module itself, there's so many techniques that we talk about, which are driven from neuro-linguistic programming, sports psychology, and more, that would enable us to ask questions when the person is stuck, getting them unstuck through those modalities like creative mentors, wisdom with hindsight, and sports psychology. Within the GROW model, we create our own repository of question bank during the course, which enables them ask powerful questions as and when needed, in the moment, in the here and now, to the coach. All right. Mali, anything else emerging from the Facebook chats or elsewhere? Or if there is a question that came through survey?
Yeah, sure. I would invite Himani to ask the next question.
Sure.
And by the time I can proceed with the Facebook.
Mute. I didn't realize I was in mute.
All right.
Okay.
All right. All
so,
right.
Yeah, I think
not be distracted. To be, I mean, we've repeated this several.
Heard somebody come in?
I think so. Yeah. Himani, go on though.
Yeah, I was just speaking more in lines of when I was saying that, who can be a coach. I think we, talked about that a little in terms of, having the intent and the whole desire to be a coach, and that, good pair of years probably. But yeah, I think I go back to the intent part of it, this whole desire that if I really want to make a difference, and if I really want to listen well. So just curious about that only, that when I came into this whole line and kind of this thing, it was a huge maze out there in terms of saying that, okay, there is these various paths, that, okay, you can become this kind of coach, and you can become that kind of coach, and maybe in even the specializations or the niches, etc. So how do you really choose your coaching certifications, and this whole process, sometimes like I wish that it would have been demystified for me on day one, which it was when ultimately I joined the program. So I think we can, do that for the people who are listening to us also, and because it is a fascinating journey, but it can get confusing also sometimes.
Indeed, Himani, absolutely. So we believe a good coach doesn't coach a topic, he coaches the person in front of him. They take care of the whole being of that person. And through our course, we just enable our coach trainees, the leaders who go through our program. You would have also witnessed that there are enough and more modalities, concepts. At the end of the day, the underpinning principles and competencies of a coach are embedded in our coaches, with which they become capable of offering holistic coaching. Yes, we do have organizational coaching. We do have a lot of models on leadership coaching, coaching leaders, coaching teams. At the same time, during up to the third module of our program, which is starting from Leader as Coach, the coaching foundations, to learning about yourself and creating insights through emotional intelligence and transactional analysis, to positive psychology, applied positive psychology in coaching. You are learning about the whole being of the person. The fourth module onwards, when it is about coaching leaders through change and complexity, is when we are talking about systemic coaching within organization through change and complexity. And then we're talking about team coaching. So the last two modules, which if attended, and the sixth one is integration and celebration day. If all of this is attended, then person becomes an ICF PCC, because these are 142 hours put together with a lot of peer coaching in between, lot of assessments that you go through for yourself and that you can take on your coaches, and ongoing learning within this time and after, as you all are part of transformative learners community also. So learning never stops. Becoming a better coach never stops. And coming back to you, Himani, what have you taken away from my answer so far?
So, of course, I've taken a lot from your answer, but I would say I've taken a lot away from the journey as well, because being a part of TPCL, as well as, doing all the 5 programs myself, and then being a part of the alumni, and then also, taking care of the alumni in terms of being a community. So I think in all ways I have taken a lot. So yes, I would agree that it's a journey, and a journey which, continues, and yet I would also say that the whole benefit of going through a structured program in terms of a process, in terms of, going through it, like you almost go through it like, maybe not level wise, but at least, yes, go through it a bit at a time, kind of saying that, okay, let me do one program, let me internalize that, let me learn from that, let me use that with my peer coaching community, let me use that with my clients, let me see how it's working well for me in my own life, and really internalize it, and then go on to a next program, and then to the next. And which is what I think the beauty of the programs here is, that and because it as you said, it is holistic, it doesn't work in isolation. It works with the whole being, and it is working with your, whether you call your system as small as a family. So I would say even the fourth module, when we do talk about leadership, as in terms of leader as coach, and as I said in the beginning, I think the smallest unit of organization and leadership comes in as a family. When we are learning to be leaders, and we are leaders in our own way at home and in the society, wherever we go, in each of the roles we play, we are a system. So understanding about that as well has huge value when we are going ahead as the various roles that we play, and when we talk about teams as well, I think the term teams as well is so dynamic that again it comes to any relationship that you're forming within a set of people, and if you tend to harmonize that and to, you know, bring it like a sangha, like a group which is aligned for a goal, then it becomes a dynamic team. And so yeah, I have kind of used you know, a little bit of team coaching in my Buddhist practice, so I know, you know, how I can connect those dots there as well. So yeah, I think the experience for me would be more of a real time practical experience, and of going through this journey of being immersed here. So I would just, you know, I like, yeah, recommend that for anybody else who is interested, also anybody who is keen to kind of explore this, that you have to immerse yourself and then you experience it. So the true joy is there, and then, you know, you will have your own experiences and you can share those also. Yeah.
Beautifully articulated, Himani. Beautifully articulated. In spite of not having a team to work with, you're utilizing these skills with your Buddhist practice community, also with the peer coaches here in TPCL. So thank you so much for being who you are and enabling others through your, you know, the knowledge of coaching and the wisdom that you have got by
Thank you
being
so
immersed.
much. Yeah. Thank you so much, Himani. I mean, I'm quite amazed to see that normally when we talk of team, the perception is organization, role, team kind of thing, and then taking it to something so different, which is your Buddhist Sangha, and applying it there. I mean, this is
You know,
so beautiful.
actually,
And
it was actually a challenge to kind of have meetings that the way we are having right now, you know, virtually, because again, the connection there is so high in these meetings, because we meet and we chant and we kind of care for each other so much. So it was coming out to be quite a challenge. So I could pick up some things that I had learned here to be able to kind of share with everybody, and some of those principles in, of course, made in, you know, convert them as to how they would understand it, but the principles remain the same. So yeah, you know, you can really use it anywhere you like. That's the beauty of being a coach. Use it anywhere you like, just plug and play and it's ready to work.
that is so wonderful.
Yeah.
That's so true, Himani. And thank you so much for the profound views. And we have a fabulous question coming from Facebook, that after doing this program, how soon can a leader be proficient enough to apply the learning?
All right, beautiful question. Actually, as soon as you're a part of this program, I could say the day 2, when we have gone deeper with a few important competencies of listening and questioning, the day 2 of this module, that you're able to apply it on others, and we don't do role plays. We do real plays. So the leaders within that group would bring in their real examples that you're going to be coaching. So your journey as a coach would begin from day 2 of joining this course. And by the time you have completed day 3, most of the leaders have been amazed by themselves that, you know, not sure how did we do it, but we did it. And it's such a beautiful experience. It offers them so many new perspectives of being. And yeah, it becomes difficult for you to take off the hat of a coach sometimes when you learn this. So proficiency would keep building as in when you're practicing and offering it the time to be immersed in it, as Himani also said. So depending upon your dedication and determination to keep practicing outside the coaching course, we'll do that, and we don't leave you alone. Our peer coaching alumni, what we call as transformative learners community, meet on every Tuesday and Thursday. Correct me if I'm wrong, Himani. That's what when we meet, right? Tuesday and Thursday. And we meet for 2 hours. We practice different concepts that we have learned during the course on each other on real-time examples. Again, a real play, not a role play. We get into breakouts. We share our topics, and we get furthermore proficient every time we meet in a peer coaching setup as well. So level of proficiency will keep increasing from unconscious incompetency to conscious incompetency to conscious competency to unconscious competency. You would not even know what you know, and it would just become. You would just become that. Your habit would be of a coach. Great. I see Parinita also joining in. Hi, Parinita.
Yes, hi. Hi. So I joined in a while back, and I was intently listening in to Himani giving that example about the family as a unit and a Buddhist piece coming in. I did catch that, Himani. Yes.
Thanks, Maya.
This brings me to one question, Deep, that I'm curious to know, and this is also, in fact, I have heard at times from people. Normally, people from training background, behavioral training background, soft skills training background, when they want to enhance their career opportunities and they want to diversify, coaching comes to them as one option. This is what I have heard generally heard the conversations at. We see the importance of coaching with leaders in the organization. How about if I'm not a leader? How about if I am from a field or the part of the organization which is handling logistics or operations or it, finance even? I mean, I don't know where would I be using coaching in finance? Really help me. It's one
Deep,
question
I'd like to answer that if you permit me.
I really want to know.
Sure, Richa. Thank you. Parinita, why don't you give it a go?
Thanks, Deep. So, Richa, I want to ask you, how do you define a leader? The word L-E-A-D, lead means to be there to show the way. And you could, according to me, a leader, while he or she is a leader at work, in an organization setup, in a function setup, an independent person may not have a team reporting, but liaisons with other teams and influences them in some way, can also be a leader, because he or she is influencing people he or she is interacting with to arrive at a decision, and therefore leading them somewhere from point X to point Y or Z. That's one. Second, in organizations which are probably NGOs, again, there are very many people working at senior leadership positions, and in other organizations also, where they would be just standalone individuals and not necessarily having people reporting into them on the dotted line. As long as they manage to get work done and be an example to others, I think they are leading, they are leaders, and therefore this would help them. This kind of a program would help them. Yes, Deep, if you want to add to that.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to add something to that. Just building up on your point, Pari, that when you use the word lead to be able to, that is what leader, it's like, that's what was occurring to me as well when Richa asked the question. And I think any person who's leading another person into insight, into having an insight, into in a conversation, in a normal conversation, a one-to-one, any person, leader or no leader, in the classic sense, I would just use that. I'm talking to you and you get an insight. I'm demonstrating my coaching abilities and I am leading you into that. So in that way, I am, a leader to you at that time. It could be a friend talking to another friend. My son talking to his friend, anybody, who is leading another person into that space of inquiry and insight would, I think, be deemed to be called a leader. And of course, then when we look at organizations, we have our own structures and the way we look at them. But I think if people start looking at themselves like that, they would also probably move up the ladder which Malini talked about much faster, because you start recognizing your own potential and you start recognizing the fact that I have it in me to be able to not only talk with people but to hear them out, also be able to offer them that space when I'm not being judgmental. So so much is happening in that space. So yeah, I just wanted to add that point.
Yeah, and I echo that. Very well put. You really articulated that well. Yeah. Something that was coming to my mind also as you stated it. Thank you for that.
Thank you, both of you, for amazing inquiry. Thank you, Richa, for an interesting question. So our program has witnessed functional heads from sales, marketing, operations, CEOs, CXOs, HR, L&D, OD directors, to people managers, and to training and learning and development field professionals as well. So my only submission here, having listened to both of them, and also going back in time and saying, okay, who all have we trained and who all have we enabled during this course, then I can very well say the CHROs of various organizations benefit. I can say that, CAs, financial controllers, CFOs have been benefit to the people managers, those who have just become from an individual contributor to a people manager, right up to the enterprise leader, right up to the group leader. The entire leadership pipeline can be benefited across all levels. So if organization was a pyramid, I would say agnostic. It is an agnostic skill set that one can possess, and through which these are certain, gold-like competencies that you build of being able to connect, listen, be silent, be able to offer space to others to raise their awareness, offer them choice, leave them with responsibility. Ownership, personal leadership is the agenda these days in the new normal that leaders want to drive from their teams. So no matter which team it is, no matter which function it is, everybody needs to be led and everybody wants a space to lead. So during coaching, you are enabling others to have their own autonomy, have their own mastery, build their own competence, and that freedom to take a decision, make a choice, take a leap, and not wait for others to tell you, not wait for your managers or leaders to tell you what to do. You become self-compliant and self-disciplined and self-motivated. This is what coaching does. And this brings me to the phrase that we all listen to, which is, if you break an egg from an outside force, the life ends. And if the egg is broken from the inside force, the life begins. So whosoever you want in your organization to begin living fully, that person should be touched by coaching.
Andeep, may I ask you a follow-up question?
Please, Patty, please go ahead.
So in current times, when it's actual VUCA times, as we're witnessing them, when the challenges are really high, we're working virtually, teams have to, build conversations on a different level, contextually and otherwise. How is this coaching going to be useful to us? How will it help us?
Yeah, so I think we did kind of answered in this question, wherein companies like Google recognize coaching as the first competence for any people manager to possess. So are others also picking up. And as per the ICF research, latest research of 1920, they have come to a point by saying that, leader as a coach would be one of the most trending, requirement for across all organizations. Why? Because there will be a requirement of building new capabilities in people, getting them psychologically ready, not just technically ready for different skill sets to obtain and do the job rotation for different roles, but also take them through this change, which is the bigger, wider system change, also their own internal change that they're going through in the whole system. Can be very well, dealt with through coaching capability. If a leader possesses that, if the HR, L&D possess that, who are in daily conversation, if they can strike this coaching style as their style, they can bring people from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
thank you.
That's my answer. How does that land with you, Mary?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So we'll just let Himani also share a video that she had kind of taken from the TPCL repository. Himani? You can share the screen, Himani, whenever you're ready. I'll just unmute you. Okay, so I think Himani wants to project a video wherein, you know, leaders from across industry, across level kind of joined our program. And what did they have to say about it? Is it correct, Himani? That's the one that you want to project?
Yes, Deep.
Okay. Maybe we can. Okay. Might have to share the screen, Himani. Whenever you're ready. If there's any other question, Malini, why don't you put it in the chat box so that one of us could pick it up?
Absolutely amazing workshop, and I really enjoyed being here.
I found the last 3 days of this session very, very powerful. A lot of learning and a lot of new concepts and models.
I really found this session wondrous, and it was really insightful for me. It was really educative for me, and at the end of the day I can say that it is really transformational for me, because I got a lot of values, I got a lot of perspectives, I got a lot of ideas after listening.
I learned the tools about coaching, and they were all done in a very visual manner with a lot of practical exercises and practice sessions.
It's fantastic. Some of the techniques that we've learned were absolutely wonderful, and I'm really excited and looking forward to using that in the next few months and years.
How we have to enable a coachee to discover himself or herself and come out with the solutions which are already existing within.
The questioning methodology and what all exercises and patterns you can use. It's a very healthy mix of different coaching methodologies, and it's a very enriching experience.
This program, the one with TPC, has provided me the skill set to actually demonstrate and use coaching techniques to bring out the best of our young people.
Thanks TPC leadership, Deep and Pooja for giving this opportunity and helping us through the last days. I'm proud to call myself now a coach. Thank you very much.
I would definitely recommend this to the people who want to move from ACC to PCC, and I think it will help people move their credential level to the next level, and even for the PCCs who are looking for brushing up their knowledge and getting more concepts.
I'm looking forward to the next sessions, the Module 2, Module 3, Module 4. Thank you.
I wish both trainers, Deep and Pooja, all the very best, and may they continue to benefit many people in the years to come.
Awesome, playback, throwback to those times. And what do you have to say about now during the COVID times?
This GE is also very different from the in the way we campaign, but also because the Workers' Party is going into the G with our new Secretary General.
Okay. All right. So thank you for showcasing that video, Himani. I think this has kind of brought us to the end of our webinar also, introductory session on Leader as Coach. So this is what we can say that, you know, you got to only be here and know it for yourself, what it can do to you, your family, your people at work, and how could you be benefited out of the whole experience of being a leader as coach via TPC leadership. And we run company-wide, organizational-wide cultural interventions also, wherein we enable you to embed coaching as a culture in the organization, as we believe everybody has a right to be heard, listened to, being raised awareness of, left choice with, offered responsibility, also offered feedback, hypothesis, and you know, redefinition of goals, visions, plans as and when the change arrives. And so we believe that, you know, coaching is a mandate for an organization to possess, and a leader must be a coach in our own perspective, and leaving to you your own perspectives and your judgments upon looking at this webinar. And what do we have to just say about how do you experience us in the virtual environment? So the coaches who are available right now on the screen, including Parinita, who is ICF PCC, she has gone through our program virtually. Also, there's Himani, who is ICF ACC, and she's gone through a program virtually as well. And there's Malini and Richa. So I would leave to them upon sharing how do they experience TPCL program virtually now. Now we have gone virtual, global.
Yeah.
So
if I can, if I can share the, but I think the programs, I did 2 programs with TPC leadership virtually, and trust me, I did not feel that they were virtual at all. The experience was as much, in fact, because they were doing in smaller duration and it was spread over a week. So it was even more easier because I had good time to assimilate all that understanding and knowledge and concepts that was coming in, think about them, and then be prepared and come back for the next session. And the facilitation done by you and Pooja was simply superb. I mean, we all were so engrossed. Even moving out for a minute was typical that I don't know what will I miss kind of feeling. So it did not really feel virtual. The exercises, the interactions, everything was very live. And you definitely were one of the first people who told me, hey, virtual world can be as real, at least in terms of training. So thank you for that.
Yeah, if I may go next. What I like about TPCL programs is the depth, the clarity, and the evolution that they bring to the table when they present the programs. I did 2 courses through them, through you all too. And I feel very enriched because it wasn't just a webinar or a series of sessions just done one after the other. The engagement was high. The content shared was really rich, and we got enough time after during and after, actually before, during and after every session to, 1, brainstorm, clarify, contextify what we are learning, and 2, to go back to what you'd shared with us in terms of notes to see how can we apply that. What I also like is the opportunity of it being linked to real world. And what I mean by that if there's a project or there's an organization wanting to experience that, TPCL does give you support there, saying, if there is some place where we can help you practice what you've learned, we will support you there. How many companies do that? That for me is the feather in the cap. And thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's certainly my pleasure. As I said, you learn the most when you train others, and I have learned my most during these lockdown times on how to facilitate and engage virtually because of all of your participation. I think it wasn't possible without immersed and engaged participants who are really willing to make a difference to themselves and others in this whole journey. So you took every session very diligently, seriously, and consciously. So also, Parnita, would you want to share, and Himani, would you want to share your experience of going on a live project after a coach training session? And then we just...
Yeah. Oh, it was exciting, Himani. Do you want to say? Okay, thank you. So that's what I just said, right? That for me, the opportunity to put the practice of what I've learned immediately, to put the application of what I've learned totally into practice immediately by tying up with a company and working on a live project, especially when we did this team master coaching piece, to actually work with a team and to see how team coaching is different from group coaching, how the synergy and the dynamic show up when you're working with a team real time in this virtual space was really exciting. I think I delivered programs on team coaching and group coaching, but this is the first time I got involved in design, in diagnosis to design to delivery process. And that really added value, moving that 360 view and the deep dive, also the opportunity to work in real time with these leaders in the company that we were supporting was really something that helped kind of solidify my learnings post the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Pranita. Thank you. I think the energy is mutual, and also the client is enjoying the intervention along with us for the only simple reason, which is we co-create. We don't just create out of our head. We bring in head and hearts from both the parties because we are coaches and consultants. So it just brings in that element of, being a coach in everything that we do. So even the consulting has a very coaching way. So the client is also enjoying, and that's what the feedback I keep getting from the stakeholders there. So
yeah, thank you.
Over to you, Malini, and how would you like to close the session?
Well, being the engagement lead from TPCL, I would offer a great value to everybody who registers with us within the span of 3 days. There is a special offer from us as a gift to them. So please go ahead and register. And once this video is there on Facebook, there will be a link. Go ahead, click on that link, register yourself, and receive a fabulous offer from us. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you, Malini. Anything from Richa, Himani?
I think being in the journey with TPC leadership as the spiritual coach is itself quite a wonderful experience. Thank you for that, Deep. And yes, anybody who engages with us in whatever capacity we can support, we are there to do that.
Great. Indeed, you're bringing people, leaders closer to their purpose and meaning, Richa, through your coaching. So it's our pleasure to have you on this journey.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Himani?
Take this opportunity to invite people to not only, of course, join in the course and therefore be a part of the peer coaching community and the transformative learners community. But also, if you are, really passionate like us about, as we talked about various things, not only in our courses, but otherwise in terms of, whether it's emotional intelligence or whether it's any other topic that is close to your heart and you're passionate about it, please write in and please share that with us. We would love to host you as a speaker, as a guest speaker, because we are growing together, we are learning together, and that is the wish today and for always. And stay safe, stay happy, everyone. The wish. Thank you.
Great. Stay Ubuntu, Himani, from your closure.
Yeah.
Actually.
Thank you, everybody. Atma Namaste.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Namaste.